Hey everybody, it's Norm from Tested.com, and I want to thank you all for watching and enjoying our coverage of San Diego Comic-Con this year. I also want to take a moment to thank our sponsors for our Comic-Con coverage. Acer and the Acer Predator were the team that brought us and allowed us to shoot all those footage, so please thank them as well. Now, one other thing that they allowed us to do was experiment with something we've never done before, which is shoot 360-degree video for a virtual reality experience. And the idea that we had was we wanted to bring our fans and Adam's fans into the cave, into a place that you guys have only seen in flat 2D videos on our site before. And to do that, we experimented and tested Samsung's Gear 360 camera. This is a single device which allows you to shoot 360-degree video. It's two fisheye lenses with 15 megapixel sensors that shoots and stitches together a 4K video that then you can process, edit, and then put into a VR headset. Now, it was our first time experimenting with this whole production process. So now I want to bring in our producers, Adam Isaak, and our intern, Tywin Kelly, who worked on this project to talk about some of these lessons learned. All right, so now I'm joined by Adam Isaak, who, along with our summer intern, Tywin Kelly, were the producers of this video project. Adam, what did you think about when you saw the Gear 360?
The first thing you notice is how small it is. It's just a tiny little sphere of a camera. I was skeptical immediately at how good of 360 video can this tiny little ball do?
Right, we had previously used 360 all-in-one solutions like the Ricoh Theta and the Theta S, but the video quality was never great with those. And with the Gear 360 and being able to record and export a stitched video in 4K resolution, that made us a little more optimistic.
Yeah, exactly. The Ricoh was never that impressive to me. I mean, it's neat. It's neat, but I wouldn't use it in any sort of real production environment.
Now, knowing the form factor of this, like a sphere, and you can remove that little tripod to put it on any other tripod. From a cinematography standpoint, we tried a bunch of different things, and we quickly learned that perspective and placement mattered a lot.
Yeah, it matters enormously. When we really noticed it is when we were doing the final shot of the video, which was Adam Savage playing Millipede in his workshop. And the first time we did it, the camera was set up sort of at, I guess, chin level, maybe?
Yeah, and that's where the viewer, when you put on the headset, that's eye level. And we were trying to play a trick where we were making use of the surround 360 environment where the viewer would look at and see the game being played, but then when you turn around, then you see Adam playing it. But if it wasn't matching the eye level, then it just look up his nose.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, the eye level was so important because, if you're immediately in front of him and you're looking up from his chin, you're just looking up his nose. It was terrifying and not at all flattering.
So one caveat with this camera, like I mentioned earlier, is that you have to pair it with a Samsung phone in order to maximize its features. You can record by pushing the button on the top, but with the phone, you have access to more settings. Fortunately, it does save the full photos and unstitched videos in the camera itself on a micro SD card, and you also get a code to download a piece of Windows desktop software. Then you can create the stitches to import in other software.
That's right. So it's Windows-only software, and you get a code for it, and it's called Gear 360 Action Director. The software itself is super easy. The video that is stored on the card in the camera, if you play that video back, it just looks like two overlapping globes of 180-degree fields of vision. And so you need to stitch those together to an equirectangular video so that you can edit it in stuff like Premiere or whatever else.
Right. And then that warped image, then you ingest that into After Effects, and then you found some plugins that let you do some clever editing.
Yeah, so once you have the equirectangular video, it's super easy to import into After Effects or Premiere, and you can edit it like any other video. But the problem is that Premiere or After Effects don't know that this is 360 video. They just know that they just see pixels. So if you want to composite something, for example, you have to use some creative solutions. And if you look, you can see, if you wanted to put text in the background, the simplest of sort of of compositing some text over the background. You can move the text around in After Effects like you normally would, but the perspective isn't going to be right when you're viewing this in VR or 360 video. So we found a plugin made by Mettle, Mettle, that lets you account for that. And so it's really easy. You can basically just anything that you'd be compositing on top of a video, you can apply this plugin, and it will then let you move the text or the video or the image or whatever you want around in space, and it will distort it appropriately so that when you're looking at it in VR, when you're looking at it in a 360 video, it looks like it should. The plugin worked great. It was really easy. And also I should say that this is like the most basic implementation of this plugin. I know there's a bunch more stuff you can do with it, but that said, it's a little difficult to visualize what the final product will look like because, for example, if you want something to be at your feet, looking directly down in the 360 video, on the 2D equirectangular video, it's going to look like a flat line across the bottom. And it's so there's a little bit of imagining what it's going to look like.
Mental gymnastics.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Right. And then that's why there's a lot of iterating. You would try comping a logo, text, or even insert of a video into After Effects, into Premiere. But once we put the headset on and reviewed it, you realize, wow, that's too big, or that's not in exactly the right place. So a lot of futzing and trial and error.
Yeah, that's right. The size of objects was something that was immediately interesting as well because, like you said, we had an ad at the beginning of the video, and when I first put it on there, my instinct is to fill most of the screen with the ad in After Effects. But when you do that and you go into VR, it's just a ridiculously, you see like a tiny portion of the video. So you need to understand that while it looks like a tiny little video in After Effects when you're compositing, when you get into the space and when you're seeing this in a VR headset, it's going to look a lot bigger.
And then actually, when you import like a small video like you see here, we did small little video playbacks to call out and annotate things on the screen. The image quality looked really good. Like even throwing in a 720 or 1080 small clip was really well resolved.
Yeah, that was something that helped compensate for the lower resolution of the Gear 360, where in the distance of the Gear 360, like I said, it can't resolve as much as you want it to. But if you then have a few other videos that you're putting in 3D space, it just adds to the production quality. I think it lets you see it demonstrates, if nothing else, the resolution of the headset that you're wearing a lot better than the 360 video did.
And then, so another thing that's also interesting is that the latest version of Adobe Premiere CC now supports previewing 360 footage in the playback window itself.
Yeah, that was something that Adobe just released a couple versions ago, and it was enormously helpful when we were doing this. You don't have to export the video and go into some sort of 360 video program to view it. You can just check a VR video box in Premiere, and then the view will switch. And you have settings like you can control the field of view to match it to the headset that you're using and stuff like that. And so, yeah, you can in real time play back your video. It's enormously helpful with the workflow.
Absolutely. So producing the video, a lot of fun. And again, I do want to give a shout out to our summer intern, Tywin Kelly, who was enormously helpful in helping us produce this piece. So that was us dipping our toes into a new frontier of VR video production. And something that struck me were how impressed the people we gave the demos to were with 360-degree video. Now, a lot of you watching our videos know that there is a whole spectrum of VR experiences, from photos to 360 videos, all the way to full room scale experiences. And we may take for granted all those experiences because we followed VR so closely. But for a lot of people out there, we were very happy to give them this first experience. They loved it, and we're gonna love doing more of this stuff. We wanna do stereoscopic 360 video production. We wanna build full room scale experiences. So you'll find a lot more of that stuff on Tested in the future. But until then, we'll see you at the next con.
gives you a lot of really great views of the cave.
Yeah, he's like right behind me. He's like caressing me, you know? It feels weird.